This is Laura Mills. She's a 60-year-old on MAU. She came in earlier today with left-sided flank pain and pyrexia. She's already been clerked and treated for pyelonephritis. The nurse looking after her has done some observations which have deteriorated from earlier, and her EWS score has risen. He has called the doctors who reviewed her earlier, and they've arrived to reassess.
Doctor, thanks for coming back. This is Laura Mills. She's the lady you met earlier. I'm a bit worried because her EWS has continued to rise. She's tachycardic, she's borderline hypotensive, she's got an elevated respiratory rate in the mid-20s, and her pain really hasn't settled despite the IV paracetamol. I wonder if you wouldn't mind reviewing.
Could you please do ABCD?
Yes,
please.
So her respiratory rate is currently 24 and her temperature is 38.9.
Laura, I'm just going to have a little listen to your chest, okay?
China, airway
Okay.
airway is good, and she's talking to us. In the oxygen situation is 98, the respiratory rate is 28.
Yeah, 24.
24. Now the patient temperature is 30. The patient already have a paracetamol, yes?
About 2 hours ago, yeah.
2 hours ago, paracetamol.
So the
Chest clear?
Yeah, her airway's beaten, the chest is clear. She's got sats of 98% on air.
Yeah, respiratory rate is 24.
Okay.
24. The blood pressure is low, pulse 138, capillary refill 4 seconds, temperature 38.9. Well, do you have a monitor blood urine output?
No, not currently, but I can certainly start a chart for you.
Yes, please.
Alright, thanks all.
Just going to start with fluid, doctor.
Oh, okay, fine.
Can you use this line? Would you please put another line on
Yes,
and then
okay.
check all the bloods again for blood
Yeah, sure.
issues, especially BBG.
Yeah, I'll do it. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Laura, I'm just going to do
Okay, so
another one
I'll
of these
be
tubes
floating
into your arm, okay?
Thank you very
Do
much,
some
yes.
blood tests.
Could you please check
Just
the
be back in a
BMI?
second with all
We'll
the
do,
equipment.
yeah, sure. Okay, a little pinprick of your finger there, Laura, just to check your blood sugar.
Okay, Carl. Okay, Laura, I'm just going to do that blood test and put that little tube in your arm here, okay? Is that alright?
Okay, so blood sugar is
Okay.
in normal range. I don't think ECG is the same as it was before.
That is, could you please do the early ECG and after getting the BBG?
Get the gas done
That's all
first.
done,
Yeah,
okay?
do
Laura,
this
just
gas.
sticking this
Yes,
down
yes.
now.
Okay, so there's your big blood gas result, doctor. You said you wanted 12 litre, do
Might
it?
just
Yes,
feel a bit
please.
cold, this.
Yeah, I'm sure that. Oh, I don't know.
To put a CN 655.
I'm a bit concerned that her SATS trace is gone.
Oh.
Laura! Laura! She's not responding to me.
Could you please call that resting?
So no chest rise and I can't feel a carotid pulse.
No.
I think she's in cardiac arrest.
Yes, chest compression. Could you please go and call that resting?
Okay. Shall I bring the pressure on you? Look.
Yes, of course. Yes.
Okay, I'll call the doctor.
Yes, please.
You want me to make a double two call? Are you managing ventilator? Airway.
Oh, please help me.
Okay. Are you alright there?
Yeah.
I've put up
Is
the
it not
tube
attached?
too cool.
Okay.
That's
So
fine.
you just got an eye gel in for the patient.
Yeah, we're start thinking about the 4H and 4T now.
Okay.
So the patient is, we already put the 100% oxygen, so we sorted out the hypoxia. Start running
Fluids are
the
going
fluid, so hypovolemia is okay. And we have checked the temperature. Temperature is 38.9.
9.
So, and then we already know that the patient potassium is high.
Okay, was that from the gas?
Yes, from the gas.
Okay.
I think the patient is the reversible cause of the arrest now.
Okay. Should we just check the rhythm though?
Yeah.
Okay.
Push analyze. Analyzing
Step
now.
back.
Stand clear. Start
Continue
CPR.
CPR. That's not a BF, didn't it, earlier on? So.
I'm not sure. It's very disorganised. definite change in the rhythm before
Shock advised.
Okay. So we're going to shock.
Stand
Okay.
clear.
So we're
Okay.
going to stand clear, options away. Bottom is all clear, this side is clear. Okay. Off compressions. Right, shocking. Wait, back on chest.
Okay. And you start thinking about the 40 then.
Okay, guys, well done. How did that feel for you?
It's alright. Yeah.
Yeah, it's quite stressful.
Yeah.
It felt like things kind of accelerated quite quickly. But I think we worked all right as a team together.
Yes, and Paul is very helpful as well throughout.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let's start from the beginning. So you arrived, and Paul, you kind of started by giving a really good handover, and Sway, you were kind of taking a bit of a leadership role. How did you get the information you needed right from the beginning? Did that help you as you went in?
Yes. I got all the information, and then as soon as I get the information, I start delegating the task.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. And you had Jaina with you as well.
Yes.
So she started doing a bit of a parallel assessment. And what were you doing at that point?
And I just gathered the information from Paul, and
Yeah.
then I keep on feeding back to China, and what is in A, and then all the vital signs.
Brilliant, brilliant. So, and Paul, did you feel like you were part of that team? Were you?
I did. It was really helpful to have a clear leader in the team,
Yeah.
because that meant that I could relay all the information that I was gathering through doing observations and tests and medication administration to one person.
Yeah,
So it was really nice to have Sway in a clear leadership position at the foot of the bed.
yeah,
I
yeah.
felt like she was able to coordinate really well for the team from there.
Yeah, it's really nice, isn't it, for receiving information and sharing information, to have that leadership when you're working together as part of a team, and that was really evident. So yeah, well done. And then things started to change a bit clinically. Paul, I think you picked up on something, didn't you?
Yeah, this was something, having sort of seen a little bit of the video played back just now, that I think I didn't do quite as well, and I would look to do differently next time, because I think reasonably early on I'd noticed some change in the ECG trace, but because I wasn't completely sure about what the new rhythm was, I was finding it difficult to articulate my concerns to the other members of the team. And in hindsight and on reflection, I don't think I tried hard enough to share that piece of situational awareness with my team leader or with Jaina. And I think if I was going to do it again, I would try a lot harder to make them aware of the changes that I'd seen, even if I couldn't put a label to it.
Yeah. It's I mean, you tried a couple of times, I think, to pick up about the ECG, but this is the purpose of this debrief, is that actually you get to see yourselves and pick up those bits that actually, if you did this again, you would change. So it's really good that you're able to pick that up. Is there anything that might have helped you to relay that information, do you think, or was it just something that you will try and do in the future and voice it a bit louder?
Yeah, I know there are sort of formalised tools and sort of structures for escalating your concerns to members of the team, and maybe I could use those if I wasn't getting the responses that I felt I needed in the future.
Yeah.
On the hindsight, yes, I heard he mentioned about that, but I think I was task visited or get distracted. I was so focused on getting the ECG, and I asked you to get another ECG, and I asked Jaina to have a APG or another line, something like that. I could not remember.
Yeah. And that often happens, doesn't it, in
Yeah.
these acute settings? There's lots going on, and there's definitely a place for being task orientated, but then how we maintain that situational awareness.
Yeah.
So you mentioned the gas. So you recognised something on the gas that was really important, didn't you?
Yes, I know that the potassium is high, so I thought that I mentioned, and then all the team member knew. But obviously, Jaina not getting the information.
Yeah, because Jaina didn't pick up on it. And Paul, did you know about the potassium?
Well, again, and this only occurs to me after watching the little snippet of video that we saw. it felt almost like a sort of a chain of activity.
Yeah.
So I think Jana was there at the bedside taking the gas, but then was involved in other things like maybe getting extra access. I think I was tasked with processing the gas, so I took it, but maybe I didn't really look through it when I took the result. I just brought it back for Sway, and then I think you were the first person to properly review that result. I think I was more aware of the result that you were sharing, because I think Jana was already walking away from the bedside at that point, if I remember rightly.
Just go and get the some equipment for the patient.
Because not long after you got that information, what happened with our patient?
I think it was quite soon after. It was the lack of response, and then we did the confirmation of cardiac arrest.
Yeah, that was really grave.
It's always really kind of an uncertain time, because you're fairly sure you can't feel that pulse, and I certainly couldn't see a chest rise. And I think even though I kind of signified to the team that this is a cardiac arrest, I think I even qualified it with I think this is a cardiac arrest, rather than being confident, where actually I was feeling relatively confident. I should have just said this is a cardiac arrest, and we could start compressions.
Nonetheless, you recognised it, you did the check, you called it, and actually very quickly you put out the 2222, which was brilliant. I think Jana went to do that. Yes. And so let's just talk through the arrest. So talk me through the sequences. So you first of all confirmed the arrest, and then what did you get straight on with, Paul?
I think I was, if I remember rightly, I was the first one to commence chest compression.
Yes.
And I think I just carried on then while Jana put out the 2222 alert, and I think Sway.
I started doing the airway and ventilation.
Yeah. And how did you feel that was going?
Paul is really helpful, and I just make sure that I optimize the environment, take out the head poke, and in a good position. I start putting on the airway, and I find difficulty to getting in. So Paul is helping me. Thank you, Paul.
We just did a little jaw thrust, didn't we? And I think that seemed to sort of help the eye gel to sort of bed itself in and get a reasonable seal.
Are you aware of what you stopped doing to help with the airway at that point?
Oh, crikey! I think I paused compressions, which in reflection is not ideal. Okay, so I'll take that on board.
Okay. So ideally, so if we think about that arrest situation, what are our priorities?
Continuous, uninterrupted, good quality compressions. So absolutely, that's something I would look to change. I don't think it was a huge amount of time, but I shouldn't be stopping at all once I'm tasked with compressions.
And then what else? So we talked about the compressions. What else do we like to get on as well, which you also started doing? I think Jana
helped. Yes, at that point I'm just start thinking out the 4H and 4D. I'm just very keen to go for that one because I know the answer already. But Jana said, shall we check the rhythm first? I think that is a very good one.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, so we think about our compressions, and we think about getting the defib on, and then what rhythm we're in. So you started to think along those lines, which was really, really great.
See, I think we were definitely a little bit fixated on our individual tasks at that point. I think you were sort of secure in airway, and that became a big thing for yourself, and I was at that point back on compressions and sort of fixated on that. And I was vaguely aware that the trolley was at the bedside and the defib was there, but I don't think I fully recognised until Jana brought it to our attention that actually it wasn't attached to the patient. And I think it was Jana's awareness that provoked us to do our first rhythm check. So that it was good that we had her.
Yeah, and it's great you got that rhythm check in quickly. Sway, you were still leading at this point. Do you think being where you were was a good place, considering you were quite a small team, weren't you?
Yes.
Was that did you feel that was an okay place for you to lead?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah.
Because the only thing is I need to do the ventilation.
Right.
I don't need to count for the time, or don't need to check for the safety or anything. I think that's the best position.
And I think it's a good place for the leader of an arrest, and as you're waiting for that team, either the defib or the airway, it gives you you're not having to focus so much on the task,
Sure.
and that you're distracted. You can keep some of that situational awareness, and that enabled you to start talking, like you said, about the H's and T's, which was really good.
I definitely don't think we had enough people at that point for
No.
Sway to step away completely.
No,
There just
No.
weren't enough of us around the bedside, unfortunately.
no,
So you had to pick a task, and I think
yeah.
you were in a good spot.
Yeah, no, it was a good, once you'd established your roles, you managed that arrest really, really well, and help was on its way. So you were observing here, Laura, your colleagues. Is there anything you want to add from the thoughts of the rest of the room?
Oh, I think we just wanted to say, well done, because that looked really stressful. But I think we covered everything. We highlighted what you'd already picked up, so the pyelonephritis, that were hyperkalemic, and then obviously the patient then arrested. And then in human factors, we noticed that Sway moved the bed and took the headboard off, and that she was a really clear leader. So actually, people were able to come back to you with the information that they were getting, and that as a team, you actually fed that information back really well. And you started off with a really good parallel assessment.
Yeah,
We thought everyone had really clear focus of what their tasks were, and that you identified that the patient had arrested quite quickly, and the 2's call went out, and you remembered your H's and T's, and Jana made sure that we did a rhythm check to check what was there, and then on Delta points we weren't quite sure airway or defib, which to do, but we've talked about that. And the potassium, so you knew about it, but we weren't sure if Jana had. But that's what we
really
found.
Great, well done. So if you had to mention a take-home point, something that you've learned from this experience through being in there, but also through the debrief, what would that be?
So I think for me, there's a couple really that stand out. The first one is don't be frightened to speak up. If you spot something that is of concern, make sure that you share that with your team, and particularly with your team leader, even if you can't be completely definitive on what you're seeing. There's a change in heart rhythm might have been enough to provoke Sway to reassess the ECG more quickly. So don't be frightened to speak up, and making your team aware is always a good thing. And I think number 2 would be don't interrupt compressions once you start. If that is your designated task, stick to it, and as much as you want to help your colleagues, stick to the task in hand until you're able to pass that on to somebody else to take over compressions for you, maybe. I think they would be my 2 biggies, really.
Brilliant. And so,
for me, when I share my mentor model, I have to make sure that the message is really getting across. So maybe I would just call him a name first, and then make sure the other part will hear, and then we know what it's exactly.
Oh, brilliant. Well, thank you both very much.
Okay.
Thank you.